Welcome all as we congregate to the greatest toy line in community, ever growing, ever changing. As we collect and adapt these figures to our own imaginations and embrace the fun, there's much to learn, especially if you're new to Mythics. Welcome everyone to another episode of New to Mythics, episode 75 with my friend Terrence St. John. How are you doing, Terrence?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for taking the time this evening to do one last push and conversation about SWIGG. And yes, absolutely. We did the episode with a lot of people that were involved with SWIGG last year, Kirby, and he had his presentation. And I thought it was great. We were just talking about that. I loved it. SWIGG is art. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's fantastic. I think that it's incredible to see what we have done because of the fact that, typically these art installations, they're typically done at galleries or they're done at events like Designer Con as an example. And they're usually done with something that is so universal, like Darth Vader as an example.
Right.
You'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't know what Darth Vader looks like and can, quickly summarize what Darth Vader is in terms of colorway, in terms of design, and then to reinterpret them like these pictures show that different people took their. I remember in New York, we had an exhibit on display for a number of years that were life-size cows, but different artists had taken each cow and they were all over the city, and people would go nuts to try to take pictures with as many of the cows as possible. And for me, there was one cow that was made up to look like Spider-Man. I was pretty excited about seeing, but they and on one night where there might have been too many margaritas taken, me and one of my bouncers from one of my bars tried to hoist one of the cows off of a cobblestone down by Pier 17. But notwithstanding, the art heist didn't happen. But I think that it's really unique that we as Legion Con attendees, as folks really in love with Four Horsemen product and the community, really come together and we each put our own spin on this one character who has his interesting story behind him, as far as a character that was over-ordered. And then the company did their best to kind of sneak him into some packaging, here and there to kind of, maybe get him out in the world and get him out of the warehouse. But some people caught on to it, and some people were more or less amused by it. But I thought it was a great opportunity to, if we're going to have all these extra SWIGs, why not have some fun with them?
Right.
Why not, as many things as we do in this community, bring them together at Legion's Con, which is already kind of a family reunion of sorts. I know between you and I, we have, probably hundreds of friends we can't wait to see in 3 or 4 weeks.
Absolutely.
Again, whenever I go in there, it was interesting watching. Last night I happened to watch Legion's Lounge, where they had some newbies that were going to the con. And, last year I was on a show with some of the newbies from last year. I was not a newbie last year, but I was there with them. And it's just, you look forward to seeing who's joining the family this year, who are the new additions. And, the thing is, when you get in, and I think I can safely say I dove in head first. I came in and got very involved very quickly. And the community's been great towards me. And I think it's great towards most people.
Absolutely.
And so, this is one of those things that if you're going to come to Legion's Con, I would just say, come in and bring a SWIG or pick up a SWIG at the con and jump into this event, because that's all it takes.
Absolutely.
There's no buy-in in the sense of we don't charge a fee to get involved. But what we say is come in and, have fun. You want to put a standard SWIG on the table, that's your prerogative. You can definitely do that. We will tag it. We will make sure you get it back. You're not going to lose your SWIG. Gina did a fantastic job last year with the intake and making sure every SWIG got back. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. We had one gentleman who had to leave early and catch a flight to Michigan. But we even made sure that you you, Greg Schmerber, made sure that that swig got back to its owner, being another Michigan native. It was able to get back to that gentleman with no problems. So we had a 100% return rate on all of the swigs, and we don't expect anything different this year. We have a pretty good mechanical system that we use, it's just a lot of fun. It's right. Fun on multiple levels, and I think we'll talk about that. But last year was the first year. This is the second year, and really the reason we had a second year is the idea of, well, you know what? Some people didn't know it was a real thing, and some people told us that they had started SWIG but didn't get all the way done with it. And we got to 365 plus Rebecca, who I count as 366, who was our life-size cosplay SWIG who showed up. Simple Tricks and Nonsense does a fantastic job with cosplay, Rebecca and John McDonald. This year, we will try to top that. We will try to beat that and go for the record. The thing is, we did do some research. There actually is not an established record yet for the largest single display of customized action figures based upon a single character. So we're going to go for that. And, so we have to beat our record from last year, which is 365.
We can do that.
I think we can do it. It really comes down to, I look at it and say, we have so many people coming. I don't know the actual numbers, but I would say we probably have a couple thousand people coming to Legions Con. Mm-hmm. And I would say if 50% of those folks participated, this would be a cakewalk. You also have folks like me who are bringing 20-something swigs, and you have people like Joe Gonzalez who probably will end up bringing something close to that, and Jeremy Govier with another, dozen or so. I can't keep track of where the numbers are right now, but there are some people who go above and beyond to make up for the folks that didn't bring a swig. But
right.
And because their imagination knows no bounds, they constantly find a new idea, a new spin to put on swig. And really, that's probably one of the more interesting artistic ideas about this is that, typically I think as an artist, you want to believe that you're going to give a piece of paper or a palette to work with, and where are you going to go with it? Well, in this particular case, we give you a swig, or we ask you to go out and find a swig, and then how would you reimagine that swig?
Right.
And, there was so much variety last year in the 365 that we got, everything from people putting it on different size bodies to different types of characters, small alterations, huge alterations, big, crazy, like our friend William Wallace Harris III, Dub Trace he had made a Pegasus, I believe, where he basically put it on a centaur's body. We've seen ones that have wings. We've seen ones that look like they're part spider. We've seen ones that are on different spaceships and different motorbikes. I think there's a crochet swig in the background there made by the Jessams. Right. I mean, and that's the thing. You can really go out of the box on this. I mean, that's got to be the between that and the DJ swig. I'm not sure who took top honors last year. But,
right.
Those were two that really got a lot of people, excited. But, there are no bad swigs, as my friend Joe Gonzalez says.
Right.
The idea is that we really think that while we want you to be creative, we really want you to participate. And participation has no, there are no minimums, there are no maximums. If you want to bring a swig in the box, if you want to take them out of the box and pose them, if you want to put a different soft goods on them,
that's okay too.
I honestly think the easiest thing you could do if you come is, I think everyone's probably buying an Armory Experience Barbarian this year. Feel free to pop a swig head onto one of those. It's a 1 in 1,000 chance in Kirby's app, but you can make it a 1 in 1 chance by just popping your own swig head
absolutely
onto that Barbarian. It's going to be another one that's going to count towards the record. It's going to be another chance for you to participate in this huge community event that brings us all together. But I just think that everyone's welcome to come and spectate and check it out, and I think they should. But I think it's more fun to be a participant than it is to be solely a spectator, because you can be both at that point. You can stand there and see all the awesome stuff that other people came up with. And I think part of it's just the overwhelming image. Like when you see those pictures of what I think ended up being 10 or 12 tables full of swigs, And it's funny, I think back to the beginning of that day because we really had no idea what this was going to be. Jeremy said, "What do you think you need? Do you think you need 2 or 3 tables?" And I said, "Sure." But as the day went on, we were swiping tables from other rooms next door. And I mean, as chaotic as that may sound, it was a beautiful thing. You know,
Right.
it was in classic, I think, Cabal, Four Horsemen mode. You know, the stories you hear from the studio and how sometimes things, you know, don't always go exactly the plan, but they end up ending perfectly anyway. You know, I think that's a classic case. I was just listening to Jeremy talk about, I think it was the Arathier wave when they were revealing it, that they were literally, Sherry was in the next room painting up, you know, some of the models like 30 minutes before they were shown to the public. So I kind of feel like that energy is very much a part of 1000 Swigs in the sense that, you know, I won't say we fly by the seat of our pants because I've been working on this since last year, you know, in a sense. There were some times where I took some breaks on it because you don't want to overwhelm people or the message to get old. But, you know, I started the countdown again a few weeks ago or almost a month ago. But it's also, this year's been different in the sense of we've definitely taken some different directions. Last year, we were very fortunate. You know, we had one sponsor. We had Wolf King Customs. He was our guy who stepped up and basically said, "Hey, is anybody helping you with this?" And I said, "Not yet, and I don't know how to go about that." And he's like, "Well, I think you're putting a lot of work into this, and I think you need some sponsorship." And Len stepped up in true Lenerosity form and did what the Wolf King always does, you know. And so, I mean, you know, but that's, again, I think every time I talk about a point, I just reemphasize what we already know about this community, you know, and what we know about the different forces that exist within this world, like, you know, like Len and like Dirk's Designs and like, you know, so many people, you know, Joe Gonzalez, you know, I mean, Curtis. I mean, you just see so many people who step up to the plate and do the right thing. And really, again, if you're a new attendee to Legion's Con, if you want to meet the best people, I mean, just come to the con, but certainly come to the room for 1000 Swigs because you're going to meet the Purple Gang. You're going to meet Curtis. You're going to meet Trevor.
Right.
You're going to meet all these wonderful people because 1000 Swigs last year ended up being the gathering spot, you know, around 1 o'clock when we were getting ready to take that picture. Yes, people wanted to pick up their swig, but I think it was also a matter of the energy. We had Jonathan Hedgehog Action having his DJ swig get everyone into a jam, and there was a dance party going on. I mean, it really is this party atmosphere, and really, it's wonderful to see so many people coming together and just hanging out, chatting, looking at all the different swigs, because every time you look at the table, you're going to see a swig you didn't see 5 minutes earlier. You
Right.
know, I think if I remember correctly, I think you could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Dylan had like a Hellboy swig that I think you were really remarking on, I think last year.
Yeah, it was so good.
So, I mean, there's, you know, yes, there are always going to be the swigs that we talk about that are like, wow, that, you know, but I mean, for everybody, that's going to be a different swig. I mean, there were 2 different Superman swigs out there that were completely different. There was a Hulk Hogan swig. There was Van Johnson's Richard Swigham's.
Right.
You know, so I mean, they're, you know, from the most absurd idea to the most, you know, far out idea as far as, you know, that should be a real figure. You know, you had the Troll swig made by Billy Beige. I mean, I could rattle off different swigs we saw last year. We had Trevor had, I think, 2 swigs. One of them being the Frankenstein swig.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had another one that was based on a figure obscura last year. There were multiple Santa Claus swigs, but they were all different Santa Claus swigs, you know?
Right.
And again, you will see funny swigs, scary swigs, you know, adventure type swigs, you know? And I think the character himself lends himself to this, being an alchemist, someone who plays with magic and potions, but has unpredictable results.
Right.
Anything is possible, you know? And
I
also,
think
go ahead. Sorry.
that swig is a fun focal point creatively. You know, it gets the juices going. You know, you look at swig as kind of a blank canvas and think, what could I do with this? What can I make with this? What, you know, where can I go from here? and it's literally limitless. There's so much you can do. And so I think that's so much fun, and it's really speaks to like participation and people coming together. You see the pictures of these of everyone just like celebrating, coming together and creating things and laughing and just enjoying. Is that the
Well, this is Mike Vieira, and he made this, and he was very generous in giving it to me. He has a potion bottle he's not holding at the moment, but I don't know if he meant this to be a Haunted Mansion homage, but I definitely always get that vibe of like the ghost at the end of the Haunted Mansion ride in Disney World.
For sure, yeah.
That blue. He could also be a statue. He could be a lot of different things, but like I just think that like this is just, again, such a wonderful thing. And I mean, he didn't have, but it was funny when I went to give everyone their SWIGs back, it had a little tag on it saying, this is for Terrence St. John, my gift to you. So
that's awesome.
I mean, it was unnecessary, but really, heartfelt. Gina had made this one this year by just taking the Silver Knight and popping the visor over SWIG's head.
Awesome.
So, so now we have Sir SWIG.
Good job, Gina.
So, I mean, it's really, it can be that simple. It can be more complicated. But again, like you said, it's just such a wonderful showcase of everyone coming together,
yes.
Not just the SWIGs, but the people, because I think, and I'm going to keep going on montage. I mean, like marathon, but I don't want to. I want it to be known to the public that everyone who's been to Legion's Con always says the thing they're most looking forward to is the people. They're looking forward to seeing their friends again. They're looking forward. I mean, yes, I can't wait to go to G-Con and see whatever the new big thing is this year. It's Christmas Day. I can't wait to walk around the hallways and see whatever crazy thing is on display. And who knows, maybe there's another statue this year. They seem to have had one added every year. I don't know if we'll get a second pillar. I don't know if I'm ready for a second pillar, but, maybe it'll be a pirate ship. I don't know. I mean, all I know is we were told to get ready to set sail,
yes.
But things with Four Horsemen, I would say, and I say this lovingly, are usually not straightforward. There's usually a twist.
Right.
So, my
and
little,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is to subvert expectation, set you up for one thing, then show you something else, and make you go, it's absolutely what I didn't know I absolutely had to have. You know what I mean? Now it has to be part of my collection.
Right.
I like, if they do pirates, I kind of hope they're dogs. I want them to be like salty dog pirates. You know what I mean? Like,
I can see that.
We've had cats, we've had birds. We need dogs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, so, I mean, I know you're a dog lover. I have two that are
absolutely
crashed out on my living room floor right now. And one of them is destroying a duck. But I love dogs. I think most people do, and I'd love to see them represented. I know Rich Jones has been doing a bunch of dogs on the Euro Legions, and they look fabulous. They all have their own personality. I would just love to see whatever they show us. I know I'm going to want 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like, but outside of that, I think that, yes, there's always the tables. There's the hangouts in the lobby. There's so many amazing things to do at Legion's Con. Hopefully they'll have some of the role-playing game things that people can participate in. I'm sure that's going to be a big thing this year with the Kickstarter starting in a few months. But as far as a community event that we all get together for and do together, I feel like 1,000 SWIGs is that event.
Yes.
I feel like it's something that, people saw last year. I don't know if it's fresh in people's memories. I mean, I've been doing my best to try to, hammer it down, but I'm only one guy with only so much reach, but I do try to get the message out there, as monotonous as it may sound at sometimes. But it's because of the fact that I don't want people to miss out on it this year, like some people missed out on it last year.
And that's why I reach out to you, because I believe in it so much. Like, I love the people coming together like that. And SWIG does that. SWIG, it brings people together. It's like, hey, I made this, I made that. And, we show each other, and it's just a fun thing. It's just a fun activity. And it really embraces and celebrates creativity.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think the other thing too about Swig that I think makes him probably one of the most relatable characters, I would say, in Mythic Legions or in Mythos, is the fact that we've got a lot of great, powerful characters, some really characters that are intimidating, and characters that are, really the most powerful of everything that they personally do, whether it's, they're a dark wizard or they're a dragon or whatever. But Swig is actually designed to be imperfect, like most of us. You know what I mean? He makes mistakes and he's fallible. And I think that makes him a very relatable character. I think that what I like about the clone story, or the multiplication formula that he ended up creating, Potion, is that, in a way, if we all had the chance to do it differently, how would we turn out?
Right.
How would, and I think it explores that opportunity of, yes, the Swig, the main Swig that we all know, he's the alchemist. But each Swig, every one that somebody takes and does something with, is putting their own spin on it, putting their own identity into it, their own heart into it. And I just think that that is such an amazing thing that we get to do. And I love that the studio has embraced it and made an event out of it, that they've given us a forum, which, I mean, it's not unusual when you look at the things that they allow us to do. They have a con that's literally basically a flea, I don't mean to say flea market in a negative way, but a marketplace, for so many people who create third-party things for their line, soft goods, other sculpts. You don't like the head that's on it, you want to put a different head on it, there's a guy for that. You want a different cape, or a cape that didn't come with the figure, we have a girl for that. We have all these different people that are wonderful, and like the Cabal celebrates that every day. If you go on there, you see something beautiful and wonderful that you want to have in your collection. And here's a place once a year for an entire weekend where we go crazy saving up, selling stuff we have in order to add new stuff to the collection, to expand the collection, and it's its own culture to some extent. And we are I think for the most part, we're a positive community. I think we're one that, there's always going to be some toxic voices out there. There's always going to be some people that are just never happy. But I think for the majority of us, I think what I love most about this is we're all usually trying to lift one another up. When I know somebody's down or somebody's having a tough time, I like reaching out to them. I like checking in on them. If I know that somebody's got an upcoming project, and, you and I have both worked to try to get certain Kickstarters across the finish line. And again, not that I'm the guy, but the thing is, I'd rather be part of the winning team, the team that's pushing, rather than the team on the side that does nothing and just says, oh, it'd be cool if it happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, take a stand on it, and even if you can't financially back it, get the word out, help get it out to people who can,
I love to embrace that in the community. Like I said it before, I don't really create very much. I don't really make very much stuff, but I love to showcase other people's creativity. Like, it's endless, and that might be what attracts me to Mythics, is that like what you're saying for G-Con, we don't know what it's going to be. You think it's going to be this, and it's way over here. It's fun to speculate and wonder but it's like I'm always in wonder. I'm always in awe of the creativity from the studio, but also from like regular people that just come up with these amazing ideas. And I think that's something that's so much fun with SWIG, is that you have just something so basic, but like the sky is a limit, and every year it can be different. Everyone, you can come up with completely new things, and there's no limit to it. You can do whatever you want, and the price of it is just a SWIG to do whatever you want and bring it and showcase it and be proud of your creation. I made this. This is what I made, and said you get to put it wherever you want on the table. You go up to Gina and she'll give you a little tag, and you put it wherever you want amongst all the other SWIGs. So I love it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's so much fun. Let's talk about the giveaways and the sponsors. Let's do a little business here.
Sure, absolutely. So that. I am, I spoke about earlier, last year we were lucky enough to have Len LaGuardia, and I couldn't have been more appreciative. He stepped up, he gave us some SWIGs to give away, which some people thought that was funny that we were giving SWIGs away at the SWIG event. But we hope that those SWIGs make it back this year.
Absolutely.
This year, I think it's going to be a little different. I don't know that we'll be giving away any SWIGs. So if anybody's expecting that again, I don't think that's happening. I think this year, the chances are that it's going to be a combination of custom creations by the creator, the sponsors. In some cases, I know exactly what they're doing. In some cases, I don't exactly know. Because, this is a time of year when all these customizers, all these custom builders, and producers of custom parts are at their busiest. They are hard at work trying to hit deadlines, trying to get stuff ready for Legion's Con. And so I want to give a little shout out to our friend Heinrich, who about a month and a half ago, I reached out to him and I said, because in our chat that we're a part of, he regularly talks about getting stuff from certain people. And I said, hey, listen, a lot of these people better than I will, and I definitely will miss somebody. Would you mind getting a list together for me of who I should reach out to? And so he was kind enough and I think he had told me it might take him a couple of days. I think I got it the next day. And I drafted kind of like a letter to each of those people and said, hey, there's no expectation, but this year we're going to be doing the 1,000 SWIGs again. I'd love to have you participate. And here's what I will tell you. Not a single person said no. Every one of them said yes, or said, they already had a plan on what they would do, or they said, hey, I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but get back to me beginning of next month and I'll have a plan in place for it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so these prizes probably range anywhere from gift cards to their stores, or, swag bags from their stores, or in some cases, items that they produce. And I don't know if you have that slide that you can bring up that I can show and actually talk through who they are and the ones that I've publicly talked about so far. I mean, you have Stefan from Detour Customs. I mean, he's been making those awesome longboats. If you saw any pictures from ToyCon New Jersey recently,
yeah, so cool.
And if you've seen the pictures of ToyCon New Jersey recently, he's got this golem that he's built that is crazy. It almost looks like a dwarf mech. I don't know how else to better describe it.
Really? I have not seen that.
Yeah, you got to see it. I mean, it's not a mech, but it just looks like it's got that, like the huge shoulders and like the helmet. And I mean, I can't wait to see one painted up. He had them in fresh 3D printed form. And then he also has a new spaceship type vehicle that he's gonna. That looks awesome.
Super cool.
And it's funny. I was listening to J Lo Fidelity talking about how he can't wait to get those. Those are the things he's most excited about. And I think the only thing that makes them look cooler than they already do will be seeing them painted up in his color schemes that he'll come up with for sure.
Absolutely.
His chroma colors and stuff. You have Josh Brown, has done phenomenal work with a number of different people out there. He did Robo Don't Know's sculpts, I think around time of Toylanta maybe, and I think he still has those. He just put out a post in the last day or so showing the sculpt he had done for Dan Larson's Secret Galaxy, and said that the last call for those will be at Legion's Con. That's definitely one I've put my dibs on already. I definitely want to get that because I love the skull. It looks like a skeleton wearing the old laser tag helmets that we had.
Yeah. I've seen those.
He's got like the laser tag pistols. It's the icon for his channel. And Dan Larson's a great guy. Robo's a great guy.
Yes.
I was told that our friend Tanya McCoy was pressuring Robo at a Joe Fest that he had to bring a SWIG, and when I reached out to him, he told me he had just ordered one. So
okay, there you go.
No promises, but I'm kind of hoping Robo comes through. I hope Robo knows how big 1,000 SWIGs is, and I hope he shows up to join us. Borderland Horde actually was one of our first sponsors, and they started out with us by doing a Swigtastic sale that ran for an entire week. And they were doing a Swigtastic mystery box where if you ordered, you didn't know what you were going to get. I had ordered 3 of those, and I was not disappointed by anything I got in my boxes. I actually got some of the little animal companions that he has, like the frogs. I think we've seen one that Mark Thomas recently painted up.
Yeah, they're great.
Fantastic. Lots of head sculpts I ordered. A lot of skeletal like weapons and shields I ordered. Some new head sculpts I needed or wanted. And when I say I wanted them because I'm hoping Gina will one day paint them. Put that lady to work.
That's right. That's right.
Just because she's dedicates more time to it than I can find. So, and I've become a little lazy in my old age here, but
she's very talented, very talented.
She's very talented, but the thing is, I don't want to get in the way of the project she already has lined up. She's got quite a few ideas of her own. And I hope that she puts down her ebook long enough to get some of those done. But she's a voracious reader. We've got Dusty and Ange from Dang Studios.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen the Little Legions coloring book they've got coming this year, but our boy Swig is right on the cover, and so
can't go wrong.
That's going to be a must-have for me.
Absolutely.
He also is going to be contributing the Swig he's been showcasing on his channels and his socials. He had a 3D render of the little Swig made up, and it's going to be joining the table. It's probably, I'm going to say it's about 12 inches tall, maybe a little taller, a little shorter than that. My first question was, how do I get one of these? And I was told that they're not for sale, not for reproduction. So I'm just saying, if it happens to go missing by the end of Legions Con, I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
Absolutely. Sweet.
Things happen,
That's right.
He might get snagged, but no, it's
Swigs will be returned to their rightful owners.
Yeah, but it's debatable who the rightful owner is.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so Gina being our chief security officer as well, making sure that the Swigs will be returned to their right person. But
very responsible.
Absolutely. So so then we also have Dirk's Designs, who he's, I think, everywhere this year.
Everywhere.
In
a good way.
Absolutely. He's doing stuff with Purple Gang. He's doing stuff with Legion's Ladies. He's doing stuff with the Pop and Swap. He's doing stuff with there's nothing that I don't think Dirks has his fingers in right now, and I mean that in the most correct way.
Absolutely.
He's just all over the place, and I know that he has picked up from the Wolf King. He'll help us out where he can. And then I don't know if you're aware of this, but last year when we were trying to kill some time because our Lord and Savior Jeremy Gerard was a little busy downstairs showing the Butter Dragon to some folks.
Right.
He wasn't quite on time for us at 1:00, so we had to kind of do some dance numbers upstairs.
Busy man. He's a busy man.
So he was a busy guy. So I had to run downstairs and then had to actually ask for some help getting his attention to bring him back upstairs. But while we did that, Curtis actually auctioned off his Cosmic Swig. And then to buy a little more time, Trevor said he would photograph it for whoever won it. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that ended up being Eric Miller's daughter. If I'm wrong about that, I'll get corrected. But that I'm being told by the peanut gallery that I was correct about that. So, but Eric Miller's daughter won it, and apparently Trevor, I know there's been a book, maybe 2 books that he was taking photos for, and so he's got a little sidetracked. Took a while to get that picture taken, but I'm told it's going to be beautiful when she finally gets it a year later.
Can't wait.
He has said he's not doing any giveaways this year because of the abuse he took about that, and I'm kidding at Trevor's expense a little bit. I love Trevor. But he has kiddingly said that he's not giving any giveaways. But there is a photographer who stepped up who said he would like to be the photographer to take a picture of their winning swig, because every swig is a raffle. Every time you give us a swig to the table, you will get a raffle that enters you into the drawing for all these prizes we're going to have from our sponsors. But Kevin M. Boots will be the photographer, and if you've ever seen any of Kevin M. Boots' photography, it is freaking fantastic. So you're not in bad hands with Kevin M. Boots. It's funny, I've actually admired 2 different IG channels for some time without realizing they were both Kevin Boots. So it was funny for me not too long ago when Kevin reached out to me to say, hey, would you be interested in me offering, can I offer to be a photographer for a swig as a giveaway? And I said, absolutely, and I said absolutely for 2 reasons. Number one, Kevin's a phenomenal photographer. But number two, I could then talk about how Trevor's not going to be giving any photos away this year. But no, it's funny. I've also been a big fan of, I think they're called Coffee Goblins, it's a channel that always takes pictures of different goblins posed with different cups of coffee, different types of drinkables in the morning. And Kevin M. Boots is behind that as well. So
Okay.
if you're not checking out Coffee Goblins, you should go check it out. But in addition to Kevin's own channel, which the icon there is Kevin M. Boots 77, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Really, really fantastic photography. So again, you have Stefan Detour from Detour Customs that's going to have a giveaway. You have Dang Studios, which will be giving away a coloring book, if I'm not mistaken, for Little Legions. You have Josh Brown and Borderland Horde, which will also have giveaways for them. I believe Josh Brown will probably be more in the likes of being a gift certificate, whereas I think Borderland will have like swag bags made up for winners. I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I would say the safe note is everything is subject to change. These guys are busting it right now to try to get this stuff done, and I am just so grateful that they were willing to participate and get on board with us.
Sure.
So, and I hope the community, being the creative types it is, that they will check out their sites and check out their wares. Josh Brown actually has nothing on his site right now because he had to turn off his site just so he could get everything done for Legions Con. So
Under the gun.
Your first crack at getting some really good Josh Brown customs will be at Legions Con. So definitely make sure you make a stop at his table.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm definitely going for that Secret Galaxy stuff, but that's mine, so hands off.
That's right. Hands off. So the record is 365. We're pushing for more, hoping for more. We're doing our best to get people involved and active and creative. It's not too late. We've got 3 weeks. But I also wanted to bring up if you can't make it, give it to a friend. You've got a package there already. From our buddy Ray.
This is definitely from our buddy. I guess I should cover my own address too. Not that it's a secret. You can definitely mail me whatever you want. Just no anthrax this week. Anyway, right. But anyway, I definitely got a box from Purple Ray, one of my buddies in the Purple Gang, on the Purple Gang group. Purple Ray, we represented him last year. He didn't make it. We actually had a SWIG that we had a tag inside the box. Still here, that me and Andy had put together just to make sure that he felt included.
Let me see.
Where it's at, I don't know if I can get that clear in there, but.
Yeah, Purple Ray, wish you were here. Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
So we had that on the tablets and all the videos and stuff like that. This year we will be doing something similar. My plan is to have something for our good friend Rob Zamora, who won't be there. Right. Rob was supposed to be with us. He won't be with us this year, but he will be there in spirit with us in multiple ways.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to make sure that we had our brother with us. And if we couldn't have him there in person, we'd have him there in spirit. Because there's always next year.
And that's all of our buddies, all our friends that can't make it. But yeah, if you're in the community, you're new to Mythics, reach out to any of us, and we will make it happen. If you've got something, get creative, grab a SWIG. They're still in the store as far as I know. Am I right or am I wrong? They still in the shop?
Well, here's the thing. So I keep buying them. I keep trying to knock that number down, and somehow or another 300 more. I think that multiplication. I think that potion's still continuing to work. I don't know.
Jeremy's got the secret recipe.
But I was told there was only 1,000 extra, but somehow or another they keep multiplying, which is a good thing for us. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what, last Christmas we were I was monitoring it pretty steadily, and I was starting to get worried about what if people can't get SWIGs for next year.
Right.
Rest assured, Jeremy made sure that there were SWIGs.
Have no fear.
So I would say, to your point, and I probably sidetracked it a little bit. I apologize, but
no, that's
number
okay.
one, if you're in the community and you have friends locally, reach out, let them know that you can't make it, but that see if they wouldn't mind bringing the SWIG for you, or reach out. Feel free to reach out to me. I can't guarantee I can bring all the SWIGs. I do try to run my own little underground railroad of SWIGs, but trying to get them across the borders of our states and get them emancipated in New Jersey. But I do the best I can. but we're not a small organization of fans. We're all over the place. We're in Europe. We're here. We're across the West Coast, the East Coast. And I can tell you from the stuff I've sold in the last couple of weeks, apparently I didn't realize how many fans we had in Texas.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny. I did a claim sale recently, and the number of requests we had from Texas, me and Gina were selling stuff, and so many orders came in from Texas. It was just like another guy from Texas, another person.
Interesting.
Do they all know each other?
Right.
It's funny. What's that? Mythic meetup in Texas. I know Texas often says in the chats like they wish they could get a con there for Mythic to participate.
Let's go, man. Road
and
trip.
it's not easy because of the logistics of getting product to Texas. But you know what? You can always put together a group of people yourselves, and whether you're having a Mythic meetup over tacos or pizza or whatever. I know our friend Blake is getting one together in the Pacific Northwest. Our friend Adam Power has been doing one on the West Coast with Brick Something and other folks.
Also here in Michigan, we're organizing one after Legion's Con. So,
I'm in the process of trying to open up a store here in South Florida to bring
nice.
I was lucky enough to hang out last week with Joe Russo and Omar Muniz and Jeff Evans and get together with some of our South Florida folks here, and it's always a great time, to meet up with people who share your enjoyment and love of this line. And, but, to the point, like, hey, if you can't get to the show, number one, hey, you might want the exclusives at the show. If they're going to get you the exclusive, they're going to be mailing you something back anyway. Why not just squeeze a swig in there?
Absolutely.
So send them your swig. Send them your order, and then get your swig and your order all together when it comes back.
Absolutely. It's not too late, guys. Get cracking on your swig. Just make something. Make something.
And if you're going to be at the con Friday night, I think it's Friday. No, it's a Saturday night. I think we're doing the pop and swap. The trade.
Right.
Bring some parts. Bring some heads. Bring something fodder you have. And never know. There could be some swig heads up there, and grab those swigs, put them on an armory experience. Do whatever it is, or build a brand new figure there if you can.
Absolutely.
But have fun with it. This is a fun thing, and there's I've said it before, it's a broken record, but there are no bad swigs. And this is something that we don't just collect, we connect. We bring it all together, and you're going to meet friends up there that Legion's Con. I mean, I think you and Mark met at Legion's Con, right?
Yes, we did.
I met Guaisagwe. Me and G have been friends because he was online in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Johnson was behind me and asked me if I was ever part of the Cabal. I didn't know what that was.
Right.
And I joined right there on the line next to him. And so it's his fault. It's his fault. It's Joe Gonzalez's fault for telling me about Mythic Legions.
Absolutely.
But, you guys have been stuck with me ever since. And somehow or another, I've become the Swig Master General. So
there you go.
Assemble. Let's bring it together at Legion's Con.
Bring it together, man. Let's do it all. Let's do it for Swig.
Get creative, get crazy, win some prizes, maybe. You know what I mean? And let's take an epic photo and crush the record. Let's knock it out of the park.
Knock it out of the park
together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Terrence, for being here, man. Thank you. I hope to see everyone at Legion's Con. I hope everyone brings a swig with you. It's going to be a great time. And you get to meet this guy over here, man.
Come on up. I mean, I'm not shy. If you don't want me to hug you, I won't hug you. If you want to give me a pound, that's cool, whatever. Listen, we're all at the con, I know, get your shots early maybe or something. I'm not sure, but, let's all have some fun. Yeah.
I saw Curtis did too. So, yeah, get your shots if you can. But
I'm glad he got his rabies shots. We're all safer this way.
Right. There was a little bit of foam going on there. So, yeah. He's
That's not Alka-Seltzer.
No. A little frothy. But seriously, I'm super excited. I can't wait for Legion's Con, and I can't wait to see that table. You and I both shared some stuff that we're working on. Can't wait to see it and to be part of that creativity. And I hope that everyone else will do the same. So thank you so much, Terrence, for your time. Thank you guys for watching. I can't wait to see all the swigs at Legion's Con. And I'll see you guys there. Thank you very much. Good night, guys.
Remember, friends, to always have fun, be curious, share, and enjoy what this line has to offer. Come for the toys, but stay for the friends. Good night, and thank you very much.